guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, November the 8th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. I have several topics I'd like to discuss tonight. I want to give you an update on the two scammers from last week and how those returns have ended up. I want to introduce you to a new scammer this week. I want to talk about sales or lack thereof. Also, I want to try and cover a new topic that I've just learned. Something to do with promoted listings that most of you guys probably haven't heard yet. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but okay. Let's start out by doing a recap from last week's video. I told you the story about 5 people who scammed me on eBay and the various ways they did scam me. I showed you proof on each one. To give you an update on one, there were 2 that I left dangling because I didn't. Here it is. Here's what I'm looking for. There were 2 I left dangling because I didn't have resolution. One of them had to do with a wire wheel key that a person purchased and broke. And he wanted to return it for a full refund, even though he purchased the wrong one and didn't know what he was doing. So when I got the item back, I called eBay concierge. They looked at the case. This guy even showed pictures that he broke the key. The stupidity is just unbelievable. But eBay closed the case basically in my favor. They let me keep my funds, but they also gave the buyer back his full money. Purchase price plus shipping. I want you guys to stop and think for a moment. How many times this year have I come out here and told you that eBay gave a scammer back his entire money? Just on my account. Forget everybody else's. A lot. Now multiply that by all the other people selling in eBay Motors. Notice I'm confining it to eBay Motors because I don't think this happens too much in other categories. Yes, it does happen occasionally, but not like in motors. It's just preposterous. It's crazy. I don't know how long they can keep doing this. They're going to raise fees and other things as well. I really feel that way. And touching on that topic, I got to tell you about promoted listings, and you're not going to be happy. I'm just going to, for a moment, jump into the promoted listings, if you don't mind, and then I'll go back to the scammers. This was first mentioned on the eBay UK site. I believe it was yesterday, that eBay is no longer accepting any 2% bids on promoted listings standard. In order for your item to get boosted in search, you must bid a minimum of 5%. You heard me, 5%. The talk is it's coming here to the USA as well, although eBay has made no formal announcement here in the USA or even in the UK. Now here's what really concerns me. And I've brought this up to you so many times in the past, and I just can't get around it. It's what I call the double standard. How is it that eBay can orchestrate certain changes like that in the middle of the night with absolutely no announcements? Like this, for instance. However, positive changes take over 5 years to be enacted, and still to this day, I swear to Christ on the cross in Brooklyn, immediate payment is not fully up when you accept best offers. I swear on my life, most of my best offers this week that I accepted, eBay told me I'd be paid immediately, and I wasn't. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3. I'm talking about most of them, and it's sick. And I'm not talking about waiting 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. No. I'm talking 6 hours, 12 hours, a day. In some cases, not getting paid at all. How can eBay tell us we're going to get paid immediately if we have to wait 1 or 2 days? That is false advertising. A lot of times people send me best offers that are on the cusp. You know, I really don't want to take it, but eBay's promising me immediate payment. What the heck, I'll take it. And I get stung. It happened a lot this week. A lot. In fact, it happened more this week alone than probably the whole year combined. I want to know from you guys, have you been noticing this in your category? And if so, tell us below. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think it might be confined to eBay Motors, but that's why I'm asking you guys to tell me if you're noticing it in your category. Are you being promised immediate payment only to have to wait 6, 12, or even 24 hours, or maybe not even get paid at all? It's still going on, worse than ever. Now, let's get back to the scammers, if I may. You remember in last week I showed you the example of the geriatric who bought the 2 Lincoln caps? 2 junkers that nobody ever wants for $22.50, and he thought he was getting the ones that go for $650 for a set of new all stock ones, and I showed you the information last week. All right. My favorite comment regarding that was one that was written in by Jacobite Rebellion. I got to read this to you because it made me feel really good. Too many eBay buyers expect something for nothing. I know somebody who sells replica coins. He sold a replica gold sovereign for $7.99 with free shipping. The buyer left a nasty negative feedback, reported the seller, and opened an item not as described case. The buyer believed he was purchasing a genuine gold sovereign retail for $500 or more for $7.99. Who gives birth to these people? There's stupid, and then there's eBay stupid. This guy, Jacobite Rebellion, has nailed it. And I thank you, sir, for telling me that this is happening in the coin category, because it really, really made me feel a lot better all week. Because put yourself in my position. If you were dealing with the scum constantly that don't know how to read, that will file false returns, you would be a little agitated too. So I'd like to thank you sincerely for bringing a smile to my face when I read that comment. And if any of you have comments even close to his, please share them with me. Because lately I've been very disgruntled with the stupidity on eBay and the outright attitude by some buyers that it's acceptable to scam and they have impunity. And let me tell you something, between you and me, come close. They do. I'll prove it to you right now. Let's go to our cutaway and I'll show you my most recent scammer. We'll go right to the cutaway, we'll come back and we'll discuss it. All right, guys, welcome to the eBay Scammer of the Week section. This will be a new feature to my weekly videos where I'm going to show you every time I got scammed on eBay that particular week. Now, last week was unusually bad. I had 5 of them in one day, which has never happened to me before. But let me just show you what happened yesterday, which was Thursday. Here I get an item not as described case opened against me. And you can see the person's claiming received wrong item. And they say, "Hello, seller. The hubcap is wrong. The one I have is different, so please accept the return and provide me the refund so that I can purchase another one from eBay." You can clearly see they're claiming received wrong item. Now, let me firstly show you the item in question, which is right here. You can see I do accept returns for 30 days. But they purposely did it this way, so I have to pay the return shipping. Now, take a look here, and you'll see there's a picture of the cap on the alloy wheel that it fits. See that? Now get ready for this. Let's go back to the return detail where this liar is scamming me. Here is a picture of the very cap I just showed you that I sold him. Back to the listing. See? He manually changed the quantity from 1 to 2, which shows intent and in this case stupidity. All right? Now, get ready. Look. Here is a picture of what he really needs. Let me look at it. It's absolutely nothing like the one he purchased from me. Let's take a look again so you can see the difference. Look, see? See what he purchased from me? And again, what he needs? This proves he's nothing but a scammer and a liar. All right? I have no problem taking returns within 30 days. But these scammers are all claiming receive wrong item in eBay Motors to get the free shipping both ways. eBay will do nothing to help us. They do not care. And until there's a button down here that says dispute this claim, I am going to keep cranking out these videos like crazy. If there was a simple button that we could dispute the claim, it would solve every problem. All right? Right now, I have a call request into concierge. They already called me back twice on this, and in the middle of the call, we got disconnected. Same representative. She must have a problem with her phone. So if she doesn't call me back again, I'll try again later and call them back. But while I have you here, I get so many returns on eBay because of eBay Motors. What do you think my return rate is right now? Not counting this one, because I haven't accepted it yet. Anybody want to throw out a percent before I show you? Ready? Set. Bing. 4.41%. Incredible. And most of them are fraudulent. That's how bad it is on eBay Motors right now. It's really bad. It got much worse when they started this eBay fitment program, which is for the birds. It's for the birds. The concept is decent, but it wasn't prepared correctly, it wasn't written correctly, and it didn't take a lot of things into account. So like I said, I'm going to get back to the video, but as long as I keep getting these scammer buyers, I'm going to keep showing you. Back to the video. So I finally got through to eBay customer service. As I told you, the lady called me back twice, and both times in the middle of the conversation, the call got dropped. About 20 minutes later, a different rep called me, a guy. I explained the situation to him, and he saw everything I showed you. He understood everything, and he says to me, well, what exactly would you like me to do about this? And I think my exact words were, well, how about showing common sense and at least reimbursing me for the shipping? All right? I don't mind giving the guy the money back for his center cap because the guy is stupid. I get that. But you can see he's filing a false wrong item sent case, and that's wrong. And he said, there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing, he goes. You need to accept the return, because if you don't, it's going to close out with one of those returns where the buyer was not able to reach a settlement with the seller and it's going to become a defect. He says, you have to accept the return. Now, when you get the item back, you then have to call us again. More time wasted. And he says, I don't even know if we can do anything then. We may be able to give you a courtesy refund on this shipping, but I can't even guarantee you that at this point. You'll remember somebody told me that last week. If you watched last week's video, I told you the same story, and this is what I got. All right? I don't have time to keep calling eBay concierge several times a week. The only reason I do like calling them is because I want to get it on paper, so to speak, about these buyers that are scamming us. And I do believe, and I mean this, if every one of you who are being scammed like I am would call eBay and complain, eventually they're going to have to change the return system and include another little thing to click, a nice little cute dot to click that says dispute this return. And I would have clicked that on the one I just showed you, and it would have been an open and shut case. Cute Joey would have won, and hopefully they would sanction the buyer. eBay is not a level playing field. There were days when it was, and when it was, I cheered loudly for them. And I took a little abuse from some of you guys, all right? And hey, didn't bother me a bit. Now, it's the other way. I'm calling it the way I see it. I want the return system to be changed to make it fair to sellers that are being obviously scammed. This cannot go on. How much money is eBay losing by giving refunds to all these bad buyers? It must be an astronomical amount of money. Just going by the ones I have. Can anybody here beat my return rate on eBay, which is now probably kissing 5%? If so, check yours and let me know what your return rate is and what category you sell in. Okay, next item. Not a topic I would really talk about on an eBay video, but I do think it bears a mention, is the election the other day. I have voted in every presidential election since I was 18 years old. And I have never in my life seen crowds of people trying to vote like I did the other day. Up till now, I would go to the polling place, I would walk in the door, walk straight across, register, and cast my vote. Maybe there would be one person ahead of me. You wouldn't believe the line I saw the other day. I stood on line over 1 hour. And this was not an isolated incident. There were people in various polling places in Brooklyn waiting 2 and 3 hours. 2 and 3 hours to cast their vote. It seems as though New Jersey and New Jersey and New York were really, really experiencing huge delays at the polling places. I have a friend of mine who lives in Massachusetts. He went right in, cast his vote, and went right out. I spoke to the lady at the polling place, and she said it was like this all day. When they opened at 6 a.m., there was a line, and the line never abated. While I was waiting online, all of a sudden these police cars come racing up with the lights on, and it seems an older lady way up at the front of the line passed out. I don't know if it was from the heat or from standing on the line that long, whatever it was. But by the time I was able to get to the front of the line, now you're talking a long time went by, they had her, she was conscious, she was sitting on a chair. And the cops were talking to her, and I heard what she was saying to them. And instead of worrying about her health and getting to the hospital or getting a shot of glucose, whatever she needed, all she was worried about was having somebody escort her to the front of the line so she could reclaim her rightful position and cast her vote. She hadn't even voted yet. But that just shows, to her credit, how determined she was to cast a vote in the election. All right? This election brought out people like I've never seen in my life. So I just figured I would mention that. It was worth talking about. Sales this week have been a lot slower. I've had at least 2 days I was shut out, one of them being Sunday. If there was a way I could close my store 1 day a week, when I say close it, I mean no messages coming through, okay? I would close it every Sunday. I swear on my life. I got 3 jerk-off messages on Sunday. I'm going to tell you what they were. One was my favorite. What is the lowest you will go on this item? And keep in mind, I have best offer on the item. He can send any offer he wants. I sent him my educational message that he shouldn't be behaving in such a manner. It's ridiculous. If he doesn't want to place a best offer, there's no room for him, and I blocked him. The second one really bummed me out. Another geriatric. You remember last week I told you in the video that somebody bothered me on a Sunday who bought the same Lincoln caps that the other guy did and was complaining for the same reason? Well, I refused to answer him last Sunday. All right? Out of principle. There's 6 days a week he can contact me, and I just ignored him. What do you think he did? He waits till this Sunday and contacts me again. I couldn't make this up. Again, I ignored him. I will not speak to him on a Sunday. I'm deserving of 1 day off. If it was an honest question like, I'm thinking about buying this item, but please tell me if it fits before I do it, that's legit. But if you got to complain, no, I'm sorry. You got 6 days of the week you can complain to me. So what I did was, on Monday, I wrote to him. I said, I have good news and bad news, basically. I said, the good news is I accept returns for 30 days. If you want to return something, all you have to do is click the return button, admit you bought the wrong thing and didn't read, because it says clearly in the listing the 2 wheels they fit, and send them back. I said, the bad news is you have contacted me 2 weeks in a row on a Sunday. I said, I will never respond to you on a Sunday as long as I live. You got 6 days a week you can call and complain. If you want to complain to me, contact me Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I said, that's plenty of time for you. I said, I'm not going to answer you on a Sunday. Ain't happening. So then he wrote back the next day and said, no, he goes, these are not as described because they don't fit my car, and the title says 99 Lincoln, and I drive a 99 Lincoln, and they don't fit my wheel. He's not getting it. He's 73, typical. And he says to me, I will send you pictures of my wheel tomorrow, along with your cap so you can see you sent me the wrong one. Okay? But all right. I want him to send me the picture of his wheel because it's not going to match the pictures I have up already. So what do you think he sends me the next day? A picture of his wheel? Nah. He copies the exact message he sent to me yesterday and sends me the exact same message. Tomorrow I will send you pictures of my wheel and you can see you sent me the wrong item. That was 2 days ago. He's never gotten back to me. But my point that I'm trying to make is, if eBay ever had a feature to shut off messages, either for a certain day of the week or manually, for instance, shut off messages starting now for the next 10 hours, I think that would be a real good idea, because I would never accept any more messages on Sunday. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, last thing I want to talk about real quick, which is kind of funny, is famous names. Have you ever sold an item on eBay to a customer who happened to have the name, coincidentally, of a famous celebrity? Now, it's happened many times, and you know darn well that you're not sending your used item to a famous celebrity. It's somebody who has the same name as him. Years ago, somebody wrote in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, and she was all excited. I sold a guitar. I sold a guitar to Willie Nelson, she says. And she shows a screenshot of the guy's name. She blocked out his mailing address, of course. The guy's name was William Nelson out of Tennessee. And this woman swore to Christ that she sold a guitar to Willie Nelson. She really meant it. She was that deadly serious. I'll always remember that story. So yeah, I'm just wondering if you've ever come across any famous names like that. I've come across quite a few myself, but it's obvious. It's just a coincidence the buyer has the same name as a famous celebrity. That being said, guys, that's all we're going to talk about tonight. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Please feel free to expound on any of the eBay topics I brought up, or if you want to start one of your own, that's fine too. I'm glad that 90% of you understood the return fiasco last week with that idiot with those two Lincoln caps. As I said, most understood the point I was trying to make. The guy bought two, not one, two caps. They were wrong. He didn't check his wheel, he didn't check his partner, and he's blaming cute Joey. And that kind of thing does upset me. Guys, go out there, make it a great day. I hope you make a lot of sales on eBay. Rock on, and peace.